What if you could use arrows to show you the way to treasure? You might think this sounds like a fantasy, but it's actually a real math concept. You can use arrows to represent direction and magnitude. Imagine you're on a treasure hunt and you need to find the hidden treasure. You have a map, but it's not just a regular map. It has arrows that point to the treasure. These arrows are called vectors. You'll learn how to use vectors to find your way and understand the world around you. Let's think about a real-world example. Imagine you're throwing a ball to your friend. You need to throw the ball in the right direction and with the right force. You can think of the direction as the arrow pointing to your friend, and the force as the length of the arrow. The longer the arrow, the stronger the throw. The direction of the arrow shows where the ball will go. This is similar to how vectors work in math. You can use vectors to represent direction and magnitude, just like the arrow pointing to your friend. So, what is a vector? A vector is an arrow that has both direction and magnitude. The direction is where the arrow points, and the magnitude is how long the arrow is. You can think of vectors like little arrows that can be added together or scaled up and down. For example, if you have two vectors, one pointing north and one pointing south, you can add them together to get a new vector that points in a different direction. You can also scale up or down a vector to make it stronger or weaker. Let's see an example of how vectors work. Imagine you're on a boat and you want to get to an island. The wind is blowing and the current is moving. You can use vectors to represent the wind and the current. If the wind is blowing at 5 miles per hour, and the current is moving at 3 miles per hour, you can add the vectors together to get the total force acting on the boat. This will help you navigate to the island. You can use vectors to solve real-world problems like this. Vectors are used in many real-world applications, such as navigation, physics, and engineering. They help us understand how forces interact with each other and how to solve complex problems. For example, pilots use vectors to navigate through the air, and engineers use vectors to design bridges and buildings. You'll see vectors in action when you play video games or watch animations. Vectors are all around us, and they're an essential part of math and science. So, what did you learn today? You learned that vectors are arrows that have direction and magnitude. You can add and scale vectors to solve problems. Vectors are used in many real-world applications, such as navigation, physics, and engineering. Here are the key points. Asterisk vectors have direction and magnitude. Asterisk you can add and scale vectors. Asterisk vectors are used in real-world applications. You now have a basic understanding of vectors and how they work. Next time, you'll learn about another important math concept, matrices. You'll see how matrices are used to solve complex problems and how they're connected to vectors. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fun and interactive math lessons. You won't want to miss the next episode.